And welcome back to the Ghost and Friends YouTube channel here with a first-time guest here to talk some Aggie baseball. I don't think we're going to talk much Texas baseball with her, but welcome Miss Avery Barham. Is that said correctly?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, that's not too bad. How are you tonight?
I'm doing all right. Definitely could be better pending everything, but it is what
That's exactly right. It is what it is, and I'll be honest, I am feeling the lowest that I have felt all year in baseball due to big injury news out of Austin, and so that's spending the last couple of hours watching the Final Four and still can't even fully process and celebrate that because of our injury. But we're not here to talk Texas. We're here with Miss Barham. First off, Avery, let our guests get to know you. So introduce a little bit about yourself. What started the whole Aggie fandom for you? Did you grow up in Aggie? Was it something that developed once you made your school choice? And obviously you're pretty rabid. And so I will give you credit for that. For y'all that do not know Avery, you can find her on Twitter. Drop your Twitter at for me as well, Avery, because I don't know it off the top of my head. But yeah, she bleeds maroon, pours a lot of energy and passion into her Aggies on Twitter. And so for you Aggies watching on YouTube, this is where Avery comes from, and I'll let her tell you guys a little bit about herself.
Yes, so Avery Barham is the name. I graduated from A&M in May of 2024, so a little bit less than a year off of post-grad. And being an Aggie for me was honestly not really a choice. I was born in College Station, so I spent my weekends at Kyle Field. So if you've ever seen those babies with the headphones, that was me. And ever since then, I didn't look back. I got into high school and I knew that my only plan was get auto admit into A&M, and then the rest would figure itself out. Spent 4 years in College Station on top of the 18 years that I was already there. For better or for worse, I'm still an Aggie, and I think for worse is probably the way I would lean right now. But I got no other options, so we're gonna keep rolling with it, and hopefully one of these days the sun will shine a little brighter. But for now, no,
It is what it is, as you said, and that's one thing that I do respect about my Aggie friends and family. You can't accuse you guys of being bandwagon jumpers or anything of that nature. You stick with it through thick and thin, and I'm not going to say there's not a lot of give back on their part on the from the athletic department, but not as much as you Aggies maybe want and probably deserve. I know I might get backlash for saying that on this channel, but you guys really are one of the more loyal and passionate fan bases in college baseball. And so last week on the show, I don't know if you saw it, but we brought up. I said, hey, any part of you guys that feels bad for A&M and some of the struggles they've had? Obviously the football game. I don't know how we won the basketball series. It makes no sense whatsoever. And then y'all had an earlier exit from the tournament than you probably should have had with the talent on that team. And now with baseball. So I come with sympathy. I come in peace. I'm not here for you Aggies watching. I'm not here to troll. That's only my thing when we play each other. And I one tweet and we move on. So we're going to talk Aggie baseball. And I'm not here to laugh. I'm here to honestly ask questions and also give some thoughts, because a lot of people right now are really frustrated, and I get that. You go from a number one preseason ranking to being unranked, 1-8 in conference play, and yes, that sounds worse than maybe it actually is. But you're not like, are you one of the people that are just like already ready to move on from Coach Earley, or is it still too early to tell? Sorry, I had to.
I'm split. I think at this point in the season, I'm not going to go out publicly and ever say anything against Coach Early, because I think there's a lot more that goes into it than just him being a first-year head coach. I mean, it's baseball. It is what it is. But I am not totally out. But if he were to be let go or put back an assistant role at the end of the season, whatever it may be, I don't think I'd be surprised either. So,
I mean, it seems like he's a great hitting coach. I mean, look at you guys, the numbers y'all have had while he was there. It doesn't make sense while he's a head guy that's not correlating to this team. I mean, obviously, that's the main thing that is so confusing, at least from an outsider standpoint. What about you on the inside? Is hitting like your biggest concern? Now, this weekend or last weekend you hit the ball a little bit better against Kentucky, but things kind of fell off the rails with pitching. What are the main concerns you see, and maybe I don't know, maybe the quickest fix that you can think of?
I think if you had caught me a couple weeks ago, hitting and defense would have been my 2 biggest red flags, I think, especially coming off of last year. I think too, a lot of people that are watching Aggie baseball this season, um, are dealing with a bit of recency bias. I mean, you come off of a national championship with guys like Jace and Caden Kent and Hayden Schott. I mean, you also had guys like Brandon Montgomery and Jackson Appel who all hit the ball super well, super consistently. I don't think you were ever worried on a 1 to 9 that someone wasn't going to perform and step up. I think you always knew you were going to get runs. This year, that just hasn't been the case. I think you're just kind of holding your tongue and hoping that something happens. And so it's hard, and this weekend was a bright spot. I mean, you have Caden Terrell coming back in. I mean, he gets a home run in his first at bat. I don't think that's what anyone expected. I mean, I don't think anyone put that pressure on him in the first place, coming off an injury like that. And then you have Jace who breaks the home run record. So I think Saturday, the start of that game, and coming off of a win on Friday, I think our hitting seemed like it had done almost a complete 180. And then you have your starting pitching who, I mean, not to get down on them because they have been performing well all season. I mean, that just wasn't their best performance in the slightest. I think Ryan Prager on Friday probably had one of his worst outings, maybe ever. I mean, that happens in baseball. You're not going to be perfect all the time, but it's just we haven't had a complete game all season. I mean, something goes well, something else has to fall, and that hasn't always been the case. But this year, that seems to be the story.
I mean, that's the confusing part. And, the Thrill injury is probably bigger than most people want to give it credit for. It's odd. You are replacing Montgomery and Appel, are both not just great hitters, but timely hitters. They had very clutch hits in their time at A&M. Once again, I really wanted Braden Montgomery out of the transfer portal. I was pretty annoyed when Schlossnagel won that one, but it's odd. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I keep thinking, same as Nash here, that they're going to turn it around. Like a turn is inevitable. I told you last week, y'all are going to sweep Kentucky, especially after Friday night. I was like, y'all are going to sweep the Wildcats. And of course, by the time we meet up, y'all are going to be playing your best baseball. Y'all be in the tournament. And I dang sure wouldn't want to have A&M in my regional with all the talent they have on that team. Because like you said, the pitching hadn't been an issue. They've had a top 5 ERA in the country up until the Kentucky series. That I treat that more like an outlier, I don't think that's who that pitching staff is, but in the SEC with the sticks that you're going to see, like you're going to run in some damn good lineups, and at times you're going to get beat up a little bit. It was just odd to see your starting pitching kind of get touched a little bit three games in a row. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you right here, Nash. I mean, A&M is definitely one of the better rosters, top to bottom, 1 through 9. They're loaded, especially now with Caden Farrell back, and it just, I mean, the conference losses, like I know, like we had some fun with you guys losing a couple of Tuesday games, a couple of Sunday games to bad teams, and I didn't expect it to go on. I mean, be very honest, I thought y'all would turn it around immediately. But with that being said, I mean, there's still enough talent to turn it around. You still believe the team can make a run towards the tournament and can play some postseason baseball here?
Optimistically, sure. Realistically, as much as it pains me to say, given our upcoming schedule and just given the momentum that we don't have, it's not looking likely.
Well, and that's why you're here, because I can appreciate somebody that can be real about things. And I'm kind of 50-50 on it, to be honest. I know that you do have a tough schedule, but I know that you've gotten really hot in this conference before with a lot of the same players that are on the roster right now. I think Michael Earley is under an insane amount of pressure for things that you just said. Earlier in the show, there is some recency bias. You guys have been really hot in baseball. Two out of the last 3 years, you've been to College World Series, and the only other year, you got eliminated by a Stanford team, and what I believe y'all had them on the brink of elimination as well. Do or die sudden death Sunday game or whatever it was, but y'all are used to success right now in baseball, and this is a 180 turnaround and not what was expected. And so I get, some of the comments and the chatter about Coach Early, but then at the same time, it's like, man, you're like barely over halfway through the year in conference play. We're at the halfway point. Still a lot of baseball to be played. Now, Right now, I mean, that schedule is nasty. It really is. It gets to the point where you can't just win series. You're gonna have to start having some sweeps in there. But then again, I mean, y'all have the conference tournament. A team like A&M that can get hot and rattle off a bunch of wins. I mean, we haven't necessarily seen that yet, but with the talent, it's possible. So I can't believe I feel like I'm the more optimistic one out of the two of us here, which I don't know. According to some Aggies, that probably wouldn't be too surprising here. Let me ask you this: how do you feel about the Michael Earley and the Nick Mingione drama that played out Sunday over the time limit and the mound visit?
I get it. It's the SEC. At the end of the day, as a coach, you're there to win baseball games. That's what it comes down to. It's hard to play feelings. 2 points I have to make about that. One, just I think as a baseball fan, someone who watches baseball in general, I think it would be hard to say that that wasn't a little bit dirty. Like, that's just not great baseball, but I get it. You got to win games. Whatever. It is what it is. But I do like what it brought out of Michael Early. I think I've been talking about this, and a lot of other people have brought this up too, is you want to see that fight out of the players, out of your head coach, and for him to come out of the dugout like that and get fired up and get not emotional, but get in someone's face a little bit and show that he cares. I think that's what you want to see. Obviously, that's not all it takes to win games, but you want to know that there are people who are leading your team that care about winning games. And I get it. You're down, 10-5 in the bottom of the eighth or top of the eighth, bottom of the eighth. But I mean, you got to believe that there's always a way. If there's a will, there's a way, right? So to see him come out with fight like that and still show that he cares about winning games, I think is a very small silver lining and bright spot that you can look to. Again, that's just not going to be all that it takes, but I think that is something optimistic to take out of the situation. I wish that I get it's a home game, so Michael Early is going to get a lot more of the press, but I wish that I wish Nick would have been asked to defend what he did, just to, I don't know, look people in the eye and say that, he stands behind the way that he chose to finish that game. Travel curfews in themselves, I'm still a little bit pondering, but it is what it is.
Is
So
what it is. It's a mess, and I think that Nick was equally as fired up, which is kind of surprising because in the back of his mind, he knows what he's doing. Like, I mean, I've seen almost every trick in the book throughout my baseball career, and there's a lot of bush league stuff that goes on. It happens. You see it at all levels of play, whether it be youth league and pitch counts, youth league and time limits, high school time limits during tournaments. Stealing signs. I mean, it's part of the game. There's a bunch of unwritten rules in baseball that are fair game pretty much. Now, this is one where it's tough because this is major conference baseball. You don't see any of that crap in the MLB, anything like that. And so, yeah, again, why do we have the Sunday curfew? I get it. They're athletes and students. And so, guess technically student goes first. So I get it. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's like, schedule the game earlier. Like, make sure that it's inevitable that you finish this game. Each team has their opportunity to hit and to record 27 outs. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If I was Kentucky, if that was me, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna be bush league in that situation. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to defend myself by bringing up a crappy rule and just say, hey, this is what it is. I'm not gonna be the only one that tries to manipulate it or take advantage of it. But yeah, I absolutely would have walked a guy, or I would have. I don't know if I would have had a mound visit. That's where I'm like, all right, it's a little much. It becomes very, very obvious. And yeah, it's bush league. Like, just play the game. And if it takes enough time, then great. But didn't like Mingione getting that fired up over what was, I think, something that deserved to be called out by Mike Early. And yeah, you're definitely right. How many times in basketball and baseball games have you seen a manager ejected or a coach pick up a technical foul and it's strictly trying to rile the team up, pick up some energy? And I don't think that's all it was. I think it was a genuine bush league move by Mingione. And so I think that Early had justification in acting and responding the way that he did. But I'm sure part of it is like, man, maybe if I react crazy, something catches with these guys, something lights, and we get this thing back on track. But I mean, it is what it is at this point. It's 1-8 in conference play. you got to think to yourself to go win the next couple series. You're turning around looking at 4-10, behind a sweep in there somewhere. But at the end of the day, like, I think A&M's going to pick it up. I really do. I expect A&M to play a lot better baseball. Now, I've been saying this all year, so don't take this to the bank or anything of that nature. You have a lot of talent. You have a dang good team. There are a lot of dang good teams in the SEC, so you have to play good baseball. If you don't play good baseball, you're going to be in deep trouble, and that's just the nature of the beast in this conference. Are Aggies cursed, Avery? Is there an Aggie curse going on? I've heard that word a lot this year. I've seen typed a lot, rather. I've been accused of cursing you guys, jinxing you guys, a plethora of things. Most of the time, it's not intentional. I'm being genuine with my compliments and comments. But yeah, shed more light on that. Do you believe in curses?
Yes and no. I think it would be hard pressed to find a sports fan who's not in the slightest bit superstitious. So you always feel like you have a bit of control. And so when you have things that continuously are not going right, you kind of got to throw the blame somewhere. And I think that's not just baseball. I think even football more so, which is not what we're talking about. But I mean, I think any Aggie sports fan as a whole is familiar with our quarterback curse, whether you want to call it that or not. Do I want to say we're cursed? No, because then we're just shifting the blame away from whatever else. But I mean, I think we have been plagued with injuries across many different sports that have nothing to do with coaching or money or resources. It's just luck of the draw, and you get the short stick, and you just got to keep rolling with what you got. I think baseball, again, recency bias there. You win last year, you lose Braden, you lose Shane, and then you start this year, you don't have Caden, you lose Gavin. That hurts a lot. And I think to cope, you got to say it's a curse, because if not, then what else could it possibly be? And you don't want to believe that it's going to be this way forever.
Oh,
So I'm going to say no. But at the same time, it's not great.
It's not great. And I'm at a point where I'm like, wow, are they cursed? It's just, and again, I'm not here to troll. I'm not here. It's just crazy to me that Texas walked into the SEC and turned things around so quickly in the last couple of seasons. I thought A&M was in a lot better spot on the football field just a couple of seasons ago. Last year, you obviously are the better baseball program. Yeah, again, I'm not. I am absolutely. There is a part of me in Nash and Gage, the gentleman that'll be joining the show later. Like, they can vouch for me. Like, I mean, I'm married to an Aggie. I have to feel a little bit bad, or I feel like I'm a pretty bad husband in that regard. But let me ask you this: when it comes to Aggie football, what are your thoughts, feelings on Coach Mike Elko?
I am bought into Mike Elko. I think we didn't end the season the way we wanted to. I think you find any Aggie who has even glimpsed the TV after the LSU game, and there's not a single person you can find that is not 100% bought in. Obviously, as the stereotype goes, the November collapse did in fact happen again. So that's not great. But I am not hopping on any boat that would suggest that we fire Mike Elko again. I think the Mike Earley and the Mike Elko situation is a little bit different. Mike Elko had his first year as a head coach. He didn't perform poorly, just not to the expectations that I think people had or wanted. I'm very excited for this upcoming season. I think we have a lot of development, especially with Marcel, if he can get fully locked in and just figure his stuff out. There's a lot of different pieces. I mean, we got kind of hurt with injuries last year too. Not that that's an excuse, but I am team Mike Elko. I am excited to see what he can do for year two. I think he works the portal very well. I think the guys trust him a lot. From what I've seen of him as a person, of him as a coach, press conferences, the way that he leads a team, I am very excited, and I am fully in support of him in his second year being promoted to head coach. I think that is a trend that we've seen, is promoting assistants. But
do you have anything to combat the alleged gambling addiction that Mike Elko has? We've heard we got new sources checking in and dropping dynamite news here.
I've seen the pictures. I think if you are a guy in Vegas and you're not at the table, you gotta at least.
I want a coach that's swinging by the table for a few minutes. Is all I'll say.
I mean, you can't say you wouldn't do the same if you're in Vegas. I don't know. I support it.
Yeah, I've said publicly I like Elko a lot. I think he's a dang good coach. He coaches hard-nosed defense. I will say that Sark seems to somewhat kind of have his number, but at the end of the day, like Texas didn't light him up offensively last year. We just scored 17 points. The milkman, come on, Nash. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I saw one comment. Where was it? All right. So I'm sure do you still attend baseball games? You said you're still in College Station.
I'm not in College Station, but I
Okay.
go
Okay.
every now and then.
Okay. I saw a comment about the atmosphere at Olsen Field. I couldn't comment on that. I was hoping you could, but that is okay. I think that, A&M should have a better year. No, I don't think people are upset with the milkman thing. Do you get hurt over commentary about the yell leaders? Is this a thing that I have some close Aggie friends who that you are not allowed to comment on those guys. You can't say anything, even in jest, even if you somewhat appreciated what they did. You can make no comments.
I don't hate the yell leaders. I think it is it's an A&M thing. You either go to A&M and you get it or you don't, and that's fine. But I'm not going to defend them with my life either. If you hate the yell leaders, it's a very easy play for people who don't go to A&M, and you see it come up every single year at our first yell practice. You'll see
They
it
get so much run off those
every single
videos.
year.
All the
Doesn't
college football accounts. Oh my gosh.
And I think everyone pretends that this is the first time they've seen it when everyone has seen it year after year. I think they do what they need to at football games, and I think it works. Outside of that, they can live their life. I'm not going to defend them, and I'm not going to hate on them.
I was trying to have some fun with one before the game at Kyle Field. And I wasn't trying to troll or anything. I was just gonna take a picture, and then post a funny caption, and that was the goal. And he was like, "No." It's like, all right, fair enough. I wouldn't have taken the picture with me either. But yeah, I feel like that's exactly right. It's an A&M thing. Same with the bubbles.
Yeah.
It's not super intimidating, but it can be damn annoying when you're piling in run after run after run. And so, yeah, again, guys, we're not here to just dunk on A&M. I feel like that's a respectful question, though. The bubbles. Are you pro bubble? You got to be pro bubble.
I think it's fun. I don't know why anyone would be against fun. I think it's fun.
It's fun. There you go. I think the Pringles thing was more fun, but you can't do Pringles every year, so
Right.
it's a lot of NIL fun going to Pringles when it could be going to bubbles and other things. So I get that. And Avery, what is your Twitter at? Let people know where they can follow you. You Aggies need to run her follower account up.
Where do I put it?
I don't know if you might can go in and edit it with your name. Let me see. I can do it. I think it's. Hold on.
It's Aves DB. However you want to.
We'll get it up there just so people will have it. But yeah, follow Avery on Twitter. She does a really good job. She is definitely all into Aggies baseball, football, basketball, whatever it may be. There we go. So for you Aggies that are not following her, go ahead and do that. If you have not liked this video, do that. This is her first appearance on the channel. We definitely want to have her back. She knows a ton about Aggie football, a ton about Aggie baseball. She was all in to Aggie basketball as well. I promise things will get better. They're going to get better. It's only a matter of time. And I can't say I want it to get better. I feel like it will. Anything that you'd like to bring up, talk about regarding A&M, or even ask me regarding Texas or anything at all?
It's hard. I think if anyone is familiar with the Aggies Today community, you see a lot roll in all the time. And I think you see two extremes. I think you see total negativity and then you see total Kool-Aid. I think right now it's very much leaning towards the battered Aggie syndrome that everyone is all too familiar with. But I think we've seen this season all the pieces are there. Obviously, I think I said this earlier, there's not been a complete game yet where every single piece has fallen into place. But over the course of this season, you can find a game where something, defense, offense, pitching, something has gone right. And if you combine them all together, logically, at some point, everything has to go right at once. Am I confident that that's going to happen? That's neither here nor there. But
I am being accused of sunshine pumping. That may be the case. It's going to be really hard to come back. I mean, from a 1-8 start, just in this conference, even with arguably one of the more talented teams. When you look throughout the SEC, Avery, and you don't have to mention Texas at all. I'm not trying to do that to you. It's not a trap, not bait. Baseball programs throughout the conference, who jumps out at you as far as contenders for this year? I mean, obviously there's some pretty obvious names.
Right. And I mean, you look at our season over the next month, I think you could throw any of those names in the mix. Tennessee, Arkansas. I mean, we've already played Bama, Texas, as much as I hate to say it. I mean, I think we play 4 of the top 7 teams over the next month. I mean, those guys are all in the mix. It's like you said, it's the SEC. There's not one guy that you could pick right now that I could say with confidence is going to win the conference. Is going to be in Omaha, but I think there is a overall consensus that this is at the top of the list. We're not there, obviously, but it's a dogfight, and it's going to change week after week. I mean, you saw at the beginning of the season, while we were still preseason number 1, Tennessee and LSU were both fighting for that number 1 spot. I think they're going to interchange. Same with Bama and y'all, and it's just you're going to just have to see how the season progresses. I don't think we'll ever find ourselves back in that mix, but I think it will be fun to watch just as a baseball fan in general. There's just a lot of good baseball, and I think we will be a part of that. I don't think there's been a ton of games this year where we haven't been in the mix. I mean, we've played competitively. We haven't played well, but I don't think we've embarrassed ourselves quite yet in any of our games. I mean, it hasn't looked great, but the pieces are there. I'm excited to see how the season unfolds, even if that's just to watch, guys like Jason Hayden, play in an Aggie jersey for what is probably their last season here. So if nothing else, just to keep showing up for the guys, because what else can you do? I am not in the boat that they don't care anymore. I think they want it more than any of our fan base does. So I think it would be very narrow-minded and ignorant to say that they don't want to win games. I think they do, but at the end of the day, that's just not going to be what wins you baseball games. And as triggering as this word is, you just got to execute. Like, that's really what it comes down to. And so trigger warning for anyone watching who just heard that word. But I mean, it's wanting to win is just not going to be enough in the SEC.
I think Jimbo Fisher just stood up at whatever ice hole he's fishing at in Canada or somewhere. Yeah, that word execute. Yeah, that's a strong one. But ultimately, it's what it comes down to. You have to have good at bats. You have to execute pitches, find your spots, work ahead and counts, and then obviously you play defense behind your pitcher. And so Avery has a terrific perspective, and I think she did an absolutely great job. Her first appearance on the Ghost and Friends channel. Chat, I hope y'all agree. Help her out. Tell her she did great. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to have Avery hop off here in just a second. Bring on Nash Talks Texas, and Gage Sheets will be joining a little bit later. We're going to talk Texas and the Max Bellew injury. But for any of you Aggies that are in here, I really appreciate you giving the channel watching and giving a Texas guy a fair shot, because we're, again, not here to troll, just here to talk baseball. Get Avery's opinion, see where she thinks Michael Earley and the Aggies are headed here in the next couple of weeks and to finish out this season. So appreciate y'all being here. Avery, thank you so much. Any final words for you?
Praying for Max. I know injuries are no fun. We've been there. So praying for his recovery. I saw that, and I know that hurt. But I am cautiously excited about our matchup in Austin. So we will see what happens then.
Barcelona, my man. I got to say, there is a little bit of me that is just like, we're going to be lined up competing for an SEC title, and A&M can get right in the middle of that, and they would love nothing more to play spoiler. And I would hate for that to be a springboard into a hot stretch for Aggie baseball. So yeah, my mind is constantly turning, both good and bad. And so Avery, once again, thank you for being here. We'll have her back on again soon. And have a good night.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. And with that being said, welcome to the show, Mr. Nash Talks Texas. I know he so badly wanted to get in there and ask a few questions about Aggie baseball to Miss Avery.
Not really. I mean, I don't know, man. I do feel bad. I know last week I had a completely different opinion, but I don't know. I actually do. I am starting to feel bad for the Aggies now too.
It definitely seemed like a breaking point in the season where, it just, if they win and won 2 out of 3 versus Kentucky, there's an avenue to really kind of get back into it as far as making the tournament. And man, 1-8 is tough, bro. And yes, the mustache. We must address the mustache.
The Ruger stash.
Yeah. That is, the Ruger stash. We'll address it that way. I can tell you one thing. I'm going to leave that to Nash and Gage. You do not want to see this creepy mustache. Yeah. Obviously, a really big day, but not for a good reason, Nash. A lot to celebrate coming off a sweep in Missouri. But then when you look at what actually happened on the field, talk about the injuries. And then the massive news today, talking about Max Bellew. If you don't mind, man, share what you know about Max or what you can share and what you've heard about his injury. And then, how on your grand scale, how big of a deal is it for Texas? Obviously, you lose to reigning Big 12 players. It's a pretty damn big deal.
I'm just going to start with the latter at the end. I was talking with my buddy Keon last night. He's a Georgia fan, and we're kind of talking about the Golden Spikes Award. That's the Heisman Trophy in college baseball. And Max Bellew, I'm not sure if he was considered a front runner at this point right now, but he was a preseason watch list guy. And the best way that I can explain this is for football people. This is like if the team lost Arch Manning. This is your number one dude. You have other dudes, right? And there's a lot of guys with potential. Like a Matt Scott is sitting there waiting for his chance and opportunity. Easton Winfield, he hasn't been doing great up to this point, but now I also want to say he's been hitting the ball really hard early on and at some of the point in the season. So it's not that he hasn't done great, right? But the ball wasn't really finding the holes. Very similar to Kimball Schuessler. But
right.
Man, yeah, as far as the timetable on what I'll say this. I don't think that we should expect to see him really anytime soon. I know the week-to-week thing got put out. That seems to me more of a, hey, almost like an SEC reporting type thing where we gotta be be careful what we say if we want a chance to bring him back later in the season. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because we got to focus on just winning each series as we go along, and we're gonna have to do that without Max Bellew for a little bit. But if you looked at Kendall Rogers reporting, he does some of the best reporting on college baseball, if not the best. And also an Aggie guy, so you got to give the Aggies their credit, man. They got their stuff going, but you got A-Rod and Adrian Rodriguez, and then you also got Rylan Galvan, those injuries are looking a lot more minor than what happened to Max Bellew. So we should be able to get those guys. I think they're day to day versus the week to week that Max Bellew is. But yeah, those guys are going to be huge for the Texas lineup. But yeah, losing a guy like Max Bellew, it's just there's no way to say it other than it just sucks.
Yeah, I mean that's it. It's a major gut punch. I remember last year, doing a show and hearing about Cedric Baxter and going down, and it's a pretty similar feeling, to be honest. As I knew that was going to be a major part of the offense. I mean, Max makes other people around him a lot better. Max protects other people. Max makes sure that guys in front and behind him are going to see better pitches, and
he's the leader of the team.
It's tough.
And then also it's just the guy too. This isn't some just superstar guy who just walks around with his head higher than everybody else. This is a dude that everybody loves, right? He is a really good kid. And I know I'm not I'm damn near the same age as him, so I shouldn't be calling him kid, but he's a really good young man, right? And it sucks even more for the person. But I hope that he has a chance to come back and get his shot, because at this point, SEC Player of the Year, that chance is gone, right? He's just not going to be able to play it. So it is what it is. The other thing that he won was a national championship, and let's try and get him that or something like that. I feel like he'd like that a little bit better though.
It feels like if Max has an opportunity to come back and play for this team, like he's going to do that. I know draft stock will come into play. It kind of sounds like this is a best case scenario type situation. Nash, is that what you believe right there?
Yeah, I mean, just really when you're talking about injuries too, recovering from injuries, no two human is the same, right? So people are going to recover from at different rates. Maybe Max has some adamantium in his body, and he's back out there like Wolverine. But I mean, and then also there's setbacks that happen all the time. I would just be careful with it, and I'm just gonna approach it as if we don't have Max Blue until I know that we get Max Blue back. And the day that I see that, I'm gonna celebrate like nobody's business.
It's really, really tough. I mean, and it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to, it's okay to just be down for Max. Obviously not just a baseball player. It's a guy who's put in a ton of, blood, sweat, and tears into the baseball program, stuck with Texas through the coaching change. It's tough for the program. You talk about an 8-1 start in SEC play and a top 5 program in America, back to where we belong, and then our biggest and baddest cat goes down. And so that's the thing, though. I mean, it's one of those deals where everybody, it's not just one or two guys that pick him up. It's going to be a team effort in picking a guy up like Max. And so, huge fan of everything that Max has done in his career, and it's I hate to say it and be that guy, and it's just kind of got to have the next man up mentality in the sport if Texas is going to reach the goals that they want to have, and they're certain you have to, and they're attainable. There's enough talent on this team to, I think Occupy said it earlier, to keep them afloat and keep them rolling, and that's absolutely true. Now you're going to have everybody. I mean, I'm talking 1 through 9. Everybody step up a little bit. Pitching helps a lot too. Everybody steps up, does a part. Texas might not feel the loss of Max Bellew as much as some of us might, be thinking that we could. Man, a lot of us are doomsday guys. I can get that way as well. Saw the injury report, and I had about 10 minutes of where I was like, it's rough. It's rough. That's a good one.
I just don't want somebody to be like, you don't care about the players, But
yeah.
No, I mean, and you know what? The quicker we get Adrian Rodriguez back and Rylan Galvan back, the better. But at the same time, I mean, Cole Chamberlain's been looking. I don't want to say excellent because he did have that one ball, but I mean, outside of that one ball, he's looked excellent. Threw a guy out. He's shown some great arm strength. He showed an ability to be a wall back there behind the plate. I love that. Personally, I also love his mask. I love that. I love the old school half cage mask where you got the helmet dome on the back going backwards, and it also actually matches the jersey color. Holy crap! Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? Who knew a helmet? Who knew a Texas helmet could do that, man? Could you get the coaches' helmets and the people that wear the backwards hat catcher? Those guys get the matching helmet colors. But and then outside of that, also Jaquay Stewart. I mean, he had an excellent day at the plate this last weekend. He was, I think, a 60% barrel rate, and his average exit velocity was like 99 miles an hour, 93 miles an hour, somewhere in that range. Hard hit balls, and
right.
Man, if we can consistently get that, when we're missing Adrian Rodriguez and guys like Rylan Galvan, that'll be a little bit easier. In the case, like I said earlier on, I mean, in the case of Max Blue, I mean, we're going to need some guys like Matt Scott or a guy like a Jaden Duplantier or a guy like Easton Winfield to either resurge or to just surge and burst on the scene.
Right. Well, talk to me about what you expect the lineup to look like tomorrow night. Obviously, you're talking about finding another left fielder. That's where you're going to have to be replacing Max Bellew. Do you think Easton Winfield gets that call? I mean, he's had limited plate appearances, I think somewhere between 35 and 40. Obviously, a lot of struggles there. I think sub 200 average. But yeah, what do you think the lineup looks like tomorrow night?
I think Tommy Farmer in right field, and then I think Easton Winfield's going to get the shot in left field. And oh my god, tough comment, bro.
Tough
But
comment.
no, so I mean, outside of I as long as he doesn't have any like horrible at bats, I think towards the end of the game they are going, especially hopefully we're just out there offensively, taking Texas State to the woodshed. But now Texas State they're going to want this game, right? This is not going to be some easy gimme game against Texas State. So it's hard to really expect that, especially when the last 3 times that we played them in our state in Austin, we lost. So we're on a 3-game losing streak to Texas State at home, which is quite embarrassing to say, and hopefully they have the mindset that this is embarrassing and, they got to, write something about this. But, you hope that we get a lot of offensive at bats early on, but then get the chance to have like guys like Matt Scott or Jaden Duplantier come in the game, and give you more looks before you get into the Georgia series, because you really don't want to be in the Georgia series testing things out.
Right, exactly that. You could see multiple guys get run tomorrow night out there, get a plate appearance or two. Gage, brother man, welcome back. How are we doing?
You are muted. You're muted as can be.
Pretty good. Girls are going to the Final Four, so I'm happy about that.
Absolutely. I've been waiting on you, my man, to bring that up. We'll go back to baseball in just 1 second. But yes, Gage, I know you were kind of out and about today. Did you get to watch much of that game with the Texas Christian Horned Frogs?
No, I didn't. I didn't get to see any of it, but I was keeping track. And look, obviously, I was listening to Texas Sports Unfiltered earlier today, so I heard some of your points. And as soon as it was low scoring, I felt pretty good about our chances to do what we needed to do to win. And they ended up pulling away last minute, which is what good teams do in winning time. So I'm really happy for the girls, really happy for Vic. It's a good moment, though we don't get these moments very often between the two basketball programs. So to see the girls go to the Final Four, it's pretty special.
I'm with you, man. It's pretty special. I mean, Texas did have to battle it out. It is a game. I'm with you, Joshy. I feel like Texas should have absolutely blown the doors off TCU. We missed a lot of bunnies. We missed a lot of mid-range, wide open looks, and it's Texas basketball. The women's team can be frustrating to watch at times simply because we are really funky on offense, man. We're not really traditional. We do not look like a modern era basketball team. We're not taking a lot of 3-pointers. But I tell you what, man, they bust their ass to get clean looks, to get to the foul line, to get inside the arc. Nash knows he's wet over there.
I'm catching up, man. I'm trying to
catching up.
But Max Blue's back. Nope. Shit.
Dang it. Damn. We're cooked. Everything falls apart now. We know. We'll remember this moment.
Yeah.
But no, Rory Harmon huge in the first half. Madison Booker really struggled in the first half. Missed a lot of looks that she makes often. Rory, I think, had 11 or 13 in that first half. Second half, Madison went off. She had a huge half. Kyla Oldacre, I'm sure if you haven't seen the clip yet, Gage, you will see the clip. But TCU has a former Longhorn, Sedona Prince, on our team.
Mm-hmm.
On their team, she was there in 2018, so she's been around the college basketball scene for a while. Kyla Oldacre owned her in the second half. A few very key moments. One in particular where she steals an inbounds pass, Gage, on the opposite end of the court and goes about 75 feet like she's on a fast break. Finishes it with an and one layup, and which Sedona Prince, I want to say that was her 4th or 5th foul. She ends up fouling out. This is TCU's one of their 2 girls that average almost 18 a game. She has more fouls than points in this game, which is almost equal to the number of domestic charges that were filed against her during her time at Texas. But that's neither here nor there. We'll discuss that at a later date.
Yeah, well, she was here in 2018. Funny thing, my daughter just turned 7. She was also born in 2018. So 7 years in women's college basketball is a long time. If I think about how long my daughter's been alive. So,
and you have, and hey, she's a good player, but that doesn't mean that we should just, not make our jokes about the past. We all have a past. Most of our past do not look like that. Anyways, Texas moving on to the Final Four. We'll get South Carolina for the fourth time this season. Don Staley and the Gamecocks. I mean, they're a wagon. They play a very, very physical brand of basketball, very similar to Texas. In my opinion, they're kind of what Texas is wanting to get to. They're a little bit bigger with their guards, maybe probably just as physical, if not more physical. It's a very tough matchup for Texas, a very tough matchup. South Carolina's a tough matchup for anyone. It's going to take a really, really good game from Texas. The freshmen tonight were really good. Jordan Lee, Brianna Preston. Jordan Lee had a big three-pointer followed up by an and one from Madison Booker at the end of third quarter. I think that took a game that was a 3-point game to a 9-point game, and that all happened in the last 40 seconds. I'm gonna be honest, Orlando, and this is my fault. I didn't know you would be here. I owe him still owe him 5 honey buns, and I'm gonna be honest. The box I bought to do that with, I've kind of gone through that. So you're not gonna get it tonight.
He's unironically gone through them already.
Tomorrow, I promise, I'm back on live. Orlando, you be here 8:30. You get your honey bun bet settled up. I'm gonna eat the honey bun. So I shouldn't be eating the honey buns. We got Sean Miller as our coach. We took their coach. Everything worked out perfectly, but. Anyway, so yes, the women, great effort. Proud of them ladies. Again, women's sports, college, not enough love. Our women are just dominating across the scene. And, man, don't play with me. I can eat like 3 honey buns in one sitting. I have to do 5. So obviously I'm confident in my ability to do that. But we all have guilty pleasures. It's okay. But yeah, so Texas women, tough matchup coming up, but damn proud of them women. And again, they're on a roll, man, and they all stepped up tonight. The freshmen have gotten better and better throughout the end of the year. Brianna Preston and Jordan Lee have been huge in the last 2 weeks with Tennessee and now the win over TCU. And for those that don't remember, TCU has Haley Van Lith, who got into a little bit of an altercation with Leah Moore back in the day in the handshake line after Louisville eliminated Texas in the March Madness, I think 2021 or so. So another woman that's been around college basketball for a while, but I'd give Haley Van Lith props. She's a hell of a player. Anything else you want to mention on that, Gage, Nash? Any women's basketball chat from you guys?
Yeah, we played them 3 times, and they've kind of looked up on us 2 out of those 3 times. Obviously, we won the game in Austin. It's going to have to take a dang near perfect game from the girls in order to win that game, and I really think it's going to come from Madison Booker. I think she's going to have to play obviously better than she did tonight. Obviously, I haven't watched the game yet. I plan on watching it, at least watching the condensed version. But Madison Booker is going to have to be better. They're all going to have to play really well in order to stop South Carolina. Chloe Kitts, she's extremely good. Every time I watch her, I'm like, damn, she's a good basketball player. So it's going to be really, really tough for them to pull it off.
Anything, Nash? Any commentary? I know you watched a little bit of that game. I think you were. I want to say I saw a tweet. Nope, no Nash.
I mean, look, I am an asshole. You see what you get. Okay, like
it's
Texas football and Texas baseball.
Consulting. Okay? He's been cuddling, thinking about Max Blue all night. So
noted Texas women's basketball advocate Rolando says, "Give me a wig," and he's putting up 40. I'll tell you right now, man. I mean, I hooped in college. Those women are cooking me so damn quickly. I mean, they're absolutely eating me up. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't think I could get away from Rory Harmon. She's so good defensively, and that's where Texas beat TCU. It was just physicality on defense. I mean, TCU, I want to say they had 20 plus turnovers. I know at one point late in the fourth quarter they had over 17 or 18, and so love to watch that brand of basketball. But now we're gonna get another program that does it just as good, if not better. And so we'll see how it plays out. But back to the Diamond talk. All right, Gage, we've talked about it a little bit. Max Ballou, traumatic day, traumatic news. Where were you? When were you? How were you feeling when you heard it all?
I wasn't feeling. Obviously, I was feeling pretty terrible. But I know y'all have been. I don't know if you saw the other tweet. There was another tweet. By Ann Parker Coleman. I don't want to butcher her name, but she's said official word from the team is that he's not out for the season, but currently week to week. Obviously, the positive update is maybe he can come back from the postseason was also what Kendall said. So we'll see, man. I think the clip Nash shared of him, what's important to Max, like he wants to win a championship. So he's going to do whatever it takes to get back on the field. It's going to give. I mean, we've got some talented younger guys, man, and they're going to have to step up in order to kind of keep this going. But I also think this kind of points back to it is the first year, right? Like there is still time to grow. Well, let's see how the younger guys play before we completely say that we're dusted for the rest of the season. I think one, a lot of guys are already stepping up, and two, we've got some really young talent. So let's see how they play. But it's going to test our depth. Get things like this are going to test our depth. Our injuries are going to test our depth, and it's going to be really interesting to see how the team responds to the adversity. And I think they're going to respond well. They've yet to show us that they're not going to respond well to adversity. So.
Oh man, there's just some guys that bring a lot of life to the comment section when they stop in. Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's just you're gonna have to have guys step up. It is what it is at this point. It's a big injury. It's sad, but you gotta rinse and repeat. You gotta move on, and it's tough because Nash said it well earlier. Just treat it like we're not gonna have him until we kind of have him back, and almost treat it as a bonus if we get Max back for any postseason baseball, but. What do you think, Nash? I mean, I know it wasn't SEC baseball, but Mr. Winfield, I mean, he's been a really damn good hitter throughout his collegiate career. Do you think with expanded, appearances at the plate that you could see that guy get a little bit hot?
I mean, yeah, it's all there, right?
It's there.
And it reminds me a lot of what we've been saying about Will Gasparino for the last year. So it's just a matter of it turning on. And I'll bet you Tulo's probably put a good bit of extra work into trying to get that turned on as of late. But it's just also going to be like, can some of these other guys step up? I mean, we have a lot of young, talented guys, right? And we're just going to need some of those guys to step up. I mean, I know, like I'm not sure I can give out some of the numbers, right? But I know personally that Matt Scott, and also just looking at the high school, you don't have to know any numbers from what we've seen. Matt Scott's hitting the shit out of the ball, right? Like Matt Scott is hitting the ball very, very well.
Just look at him stand in the batter's box. You could probably tell
he's a monster. Right? He's a literal monster. I can't wait for the first Matt Scott bat flip. Like that thing's going to be legendary. Like my favorite bat flip was he had like a 3 home run game, and he literally just chucks the damn thing like a javelin spear over, like literally goes over the catcher and the umpire towards his bench, right? But I like, and that's also just natural juice, right, from a guy, right? He's like I love when a guy's fired up like that. Like I hate the whole let's calm it down. This is baseball, right? Anybody that's ever played, you've wanted to thump your chest or something like that after you hit a triple or a double or something like that. Like you want to celebrate, right? You just did something good. And, man, I love guys like that. But Jaden Duplantier, too, that kind of surprised me seeing him out there in left field. I considered him more of just like an infielder solely that we were going to see if we ever had some injuries. But him being out there lets me know that the coaches want him in the lineup if it ever gets down to that. So that's another potential option.
I like that, man, because I mean you're gonna have to, and Schloss is who he is for a reason. Like he's gonna tinker and he's gonna try to find something that just helps his team. And if it's not helping, I wouldn't be surprised if he tinkers in another way, because there's again enough talent to still reach a lot of goals. And again, not saying Mr. Ballou won't be back at any point this season. It's just tough. And now, I mean,
also like the pitching staff. Like we're just gonna need the pitching staff to kind of step up. Like it's like this is. We need y'all to take just a little bit extra step. I mean, if there's one good piece, like if there's one piece of like good news about, and I'm not saying good news, right? But Texas was winning with Max Ballou being our 6th, 7th, or 8th best hitter in the last since we've gone into conference play. So, finding ways to win without Max Ballou has kind of like, I mean, Mississippi. I don't want to say we won without Max Ballou because he had that, and then this is where you also really miss Max Ballou, that throw from right field to nail the guy out at home plate, and then also hits a 2-run jack. That puts Texas up big time. So, I mean, it's just we're going to definitely miss him, right? But we found ways to win when he is having rough days.
Yeah, I think he just started to click too, which was like the hard part. Was
Yeah,
like
that
it was, you
it
could see the
definitely.
timing was finally starting to get on, and hopefully with these other guys like Easton, when he sees the lineup more consistently and he gets more at bats and sees more live in game pitching, the timing is going to click because I don't think it's a swing. It's not a talent issue or an ability thing. A lot of time it's just timing
Or
and
a mental
getting
issue.
that timing. Yeah, mental, or it's just getting that timing back. And all you got to do is, but it's got to be consistent, right? Like if you're not getting consistent at bats, how can you get that confidence? How can you get that timing back? So I'm hoping that that'll change things, getting more consistent at ABs and seeing more pitches and stuff like that.
Look, just go spend as much time around my king, Kimball Schuessler. Okay,
Yeah.
Kimball Schuessler, best Longhorns ever born in Texas
Hey man,
baseball.
he had a power weekend, dude. 2 home
He had a
runs.
great weekend. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Let's talk about that
bro.
weekend.
Like I mean, like you being serious, you look at a guy like Kimball Schuessler. He was hitting the crap out of the ball early on, and just the ball was getting caught. Like it was flying right at people, or they were just making diving catches, and it was like the guy couldn't buy a hit, right? So, but he had an ability to stay consistent, and now he's flirting around that 300 spot. He's gone up and down, like just
Yeah.
right over. So, I mean, and then like you said, 2 home runs on the weekend. He's hitting the ball really well, and he's never really stopped hitting the ball really well. It's just a matter of the ball falling in the right spots.
No, that's really well said. Let's talk about this weekend. I mean, a big sweep, or I guess last weekend, a big sweep over Missouri, a team that I said looked like a junior college program on the Twitter feed. And I mean, I hate to be like that blunt, but Missouri is not a good program at the moment. They are a far cry from your standard SEC baseball program. I thought it was, it's essential, especially after watching Friday's action, that Texas, had to have a sweep. Now, this is before I learned about any of the injuries and then the future injuries that were going to play part. But what did you gentlemen think about the weekend with Missouri? Obviously, talk about kind of maybe who stood out to you, maybe who caught your eye, and just what it meant.
Yeah, I think the thing with Missouri is like, yeah, the Friday night game, I was like, I mean, I even said it. I was like, do you feel bad at some point? Because it was getting ugly. The thing with Missouri is it's tough to gauge because we knew their pitching was bad going into it. But I also knew that they had an offense that could score runs and that had scored runs. Like they got a couple dudes in the lineup that can hit. And I think our pitching did a really, really good job of kind of neutralizing those guys and not letting them score runs. Because even if you look at some of Missouri's other conference opponents, like they scored runs. I think the Oklahoma series, they scored almost 10 runs a game against Oklahoma. So in Oklahoma, looking at the guys that they have, they seem to have the arms to keep up somewhat. Now, that this pitching staff has done an unbelievable job. Like that was the thing for me is even the weird doubleheader again. Going into Saturday, the first game, like they just did a great job of piecing that game together on a day where Luke Harrison maybe didn't have his best stuff, and then obviously Ruger Riojas. Like, I mean, come on, man. At this point, I mean, he's just going to keep going. Yeah, like it's just unreal watching him pitch. Like he has total command of the zone. Every single pitch he's throwing, he's throwing precisely. He's pinpoint accuracy. He's throwing it hard. He's got nasty movement. Like everything he's doing right now is great. And I love when that guy takes him out. Like it's good stuff. And then obviously Will Gasparino, like there was people starting to talk about like, oh, is he ever going to turn it around? Obviously, we knew, even looking at the statistics, like Will's slug was always high, right? So we always knew he was hitting the ball hard. It was really just kind of putting it in play more often. The strikeouts, he was kind of struggling more with the strikeouts at the beginning of the season. But he's starting to hit the ball, and you can see the slug because he's more consistently. And I mean, it is unreal. Like this last weekend was like, I mean, that is Golden Spikes type of All-American type of play from Will Gasparino. Like he is Will Gasparino is very, very good. So yeah, I'm pumped continuing to watch a lot of these guys hit, and obviously like our pitching is unreal, and they're just going to keep getting better. So
I'm with you right there, brother. Gasso's plate approach, everything has just been so much more solid, and I mean, paying dividends. Finally seeing a lot of balls that were being hit really hard early in the season and not finding a home. Well, it just hit them over the damn fence, and then it finally has a forever home. And a huge weekend, man. And that's what we're kind of talking about with Baloo. You're going to have guys pick him up. We've seen Borba get hot. Obviously, Ryland's maybe the hottest guy in America on the baseball field. And you've got sorry, and now you've got Gaspo doing what everybody has been waiting to see be done. I mean, we've been waiting on this. Rylando is owning the chat. What a guy! How about you, Nash? Who stood out from a sweep over Missouri?
I got a block. Being able to see Rylando.
Josh, I believe that I made the comment earlier we'd need a new left fielder because obviously Max Blue plays right, and I think that Tommy Farmer, as Nash said, probably moves to right, and therefore I think we'd be in need of a left fielder there. So that's my
and I mean one good thing about Tommy Farmer too is he's hit 62.5% of his batted balls are line drives.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
And that's number one in the nation. So. It's just another example of the ball not finding the gaps, right? Not finding the holes. But one thing about Will Gasparino is he's quietly gone on the last 14 games. He's only had one game without a hit. So he's he's on a 9-game hit streak right now. He didn't have really the multi-hit games. It was 1-4, 1-6, 1-5, right? At bats. But he's really started to put together those really nice games. I mean, back-to-back 2 home run games. Y'all nailed it with Ruger Riojas. I mean, 70% strikes. If you go to every single time, I'm going to have to go back and look at the actual stats for this. Ruger Riojas has to be, on a 1-on-1 count, he has to be in the 90% range on next pitch strike. And that right there is invaluable. You can't going from a 1-on-1 count to a 1-and-2 count versus a 2-and-1 count. It's massive. It pays dividends because then now in 2-and-1, you got to make a dangerous pitch to get back to 2-and-2, and you also kind of got to flirt with the pitch. Now you got to flirt on the edge. Now you miss it. Now you're on 3-and-1. Oh, you really got to make a dangerous pitch now, right? Now you got to hope that the guy fouls it off and just doesn't make good contact on your fastball. And, or you throw a slider, and if you don't have that slider on command, which his command is excellent, like y'all mentioned. So if he ever does get down to the count, he's a guy that's able to fight his way back. I mean, Ruger Riojas, this is some special stuff that we're going to watch out of him. And then Jared Spencer, too. I mean, Jared Spencer had an excellent weekend versus Missouri. It's just the statistics don't look great because some runners got on late in the game, and to be honest, who gives a shit about all that? I don't. I mean, seriously, when we're up fucking 50,
you're good.
But we're up 50, when we're up 15-0 or something like that, and oh shit, we give up a run, we go 2 runs. Who cares, right? I'm honestly more pissed at the announcers because they were, he's throwing a no-hitter. Oh, he's throwing a no-hitter. Oh, he gives up a hit 2 batters later, and then
right.
Oh well, he's still throwing a shutout. Oh, and then there goes the runs.
Yeah,
they don't understand it.
The commentator jinx is inevitable. It's they're going to do it. They can't help themselves. I mean it's tough. It's hard to watch a guy go down like that. But I'm with you. Hey, Chris, thanks for being here, bro. Really appreciate that. We talked a lot. We had a lot of conversations. Texas women's basketball. You guys go check that out on Texas Sports Unfiltered. They're killing it. They got a lot of good voices over there, doing a lot of good work, had a lot of good input. But yeah, y'all go check that out. Me and Zay tore it up from 2 to 4. A lot of fun. But yeah, Ruger, man, I mean, it's hard not to want to just cut down to a mustache and just rock it, man. He has an attitude, like you just mentioned. He works ahead. Anytime you're in an account with a 2-ball count, 2 balls, no strikes, 2-and-1, I think those are pressure pitches up, and obviously 3-and-1, 3-and-2, also pressure pitches. And as a pitcher, and someone that's coach pitching, you want to stay out of those pressure pitches. You want to stay in control, stay in command. You're going to continue to breathe normally. You're going to relax. You're going to just be yourself as a pitcher on the mound. When you've got you've got pressure pitch after pressure pitch after pressure pitch. That's when you can start to see some cracks in location, some cracks in command. You start leaving balls up out over the plate. And sure enough, Ruger is like, hell no, we're just gonna pump strikes. We're gonna pump the corners. We all love Max Weiner, Chris. What a guy. I mean, immediately come in. These guys are pitching with attitude. There's definitely a little bit of the swagger. The way Ruger gets off the mound and just gets to the dugout, he's like, let's get out here and do it again. Definitely.
No pause, Joshy. No pause. We're not pausing here. Okay. I love Weiner, right? Like you just got to embrace the Max Weiner.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because going back to the coaching search, like obviously going to those last couple days, it was like there was obviously a lot of rumors about just A&M period. And we obviously were still kind of like, is it actually going to happen? Like, are we actually going to get Schloss? And I was like, maybe we're going to get Max, like as the head coach. Ended up getting both of them. But, it's crazy how it's turned out. Max has done an amazing job. I was looking at the stats earlier. It's like we're second in the SEC behind good old Tennessee, who's just eating everybody alive. But, our ERA has completely jumped. Like, it's just insanity, the difference between last year and this year. And they're only getting better. Like, it's just continuing. And that's what I thought we'd see from the beginning, is it was only going to continue to get better. And a lot of our younger arms are going to continue to get better. And so, it's unbelievable turnaround. Like, I don't understand. He's like a magician, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is special. I mean, you talk about, you're going to name yourself the Arm Farm on Twitter. Like, you better back that shit up. You better bring it. And that's what Maximus does at all of his stops. I mean, it's hard to, like, I want to come up with a cool nickname for the guy, but when your name's Max Weiner, like, you're kind of there already. You're ahead of the field for sure in the nickname department. All right, let's talk about Georgia. Georgia is a damn good baseball club. They're hitting the absolute cover off the ball in the last couple of weekends. They've pitched it a lot better too. Thoughts on Georgia? Have you looked much into Georgia? And obviously we've got some unexpectedness around the program right now. But what would you take as a solid weekend? Is one win, considering the start we have and now the injuries we have? Would one win be enough to make you happy? Do we have to win the series? But give me all your Georgia thoughts.
Who is not helped? Like, I guess my question is like, is Galvan going to be in the lineup and feeling okay? Is A-Rod going to be in the lineup and feeling okay? I would say 2 wins is still. I think Georgia, obviously their offense is explosive, but I feel good about our pitching. I really do. I feel like we will be able to at least rein that in a little bit, and make it a little bit harder on these Georgia hitters than they've had it with the last few series. And also Georgia's pitching, like, it's gotten a little bit better, but their starting pitching just doesn't go very long. And I don't know how well that's going to work out for them in a series like this against a top 5 team. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think asking for 2 wins isn't asking for too much for this baseball team at this point. I think that's kind of where the expectations are at. And we'll see how it goes. Obviously, if we go into the series and all 3 games we're missing our starting third baseman and our starting catcher, and we only end up squeaking one out, it just kind of depends on how the other 2 play out. But I feel really good about our pitching against. I think they'll be able to at least, rein in Georgia's offense a little bit and give our offense a chance to score some runs. So,
what you got, Nash?
I'm scared. Hold on, let me see if I can, because let me pull it up on this screen, because like I want people to like. There we go. You can choose to put this up if you want or not, but I mean, Georgia can hit the shit out of the ball, like 79 home run. That's not a typo.
That's insane.
They have hit 79 home runs. Let me look at so Tennessee last year, they hit 184 home runs across 73 games. I just want to get the math real quick. Divided by 73. Okay, yeah. So they're hitting more home runs on a home run per game basis than last year's Tennessee squad. And oh, by the way, they don't play in some little league ballpark where the fences are pulled in 50 feet. You know, I mean, they play in a ballpark that's the same size or bigger than this. And it's just, this is going to be a team that's going to come in and hit the ball. Now, Texas, we do pitch very well. We're 15th in the nation in limiting home runs. So we do have that going for us. But, I mean, this is a scary, good hitting baseball team coming into the dish. And I'm just, it's gonna be, we're either, in my opinion, we either get our shit blown out, or it's a close game, or it's just a damn close series. Maybe we get to them, but I mean, I don't see their bats taking a week off.
It's when you look at the numbers, it's hard not to just be
It's
in awe.
It's
insane.
Like, I know, and here's the deal. So I know that we held LSU, which was, they're still like second or third best batting average in the country. We held them to like 220 something or something like that, or 270s or something like that. So this pitching staff, it's no disrespect to the pitching staff. This pitching staff has already shown that they can go out there and they can shut down some really good hitters. Jared Jones is a very, very good hitter. Milam is a very, very good hitter. But I don't know. Like, there's literally just no breaks whatsoever when you get to this Georgia squad. There's none. Like, they all can. I know every one of the Texas guys has the ability to hit the ball out, but all of these dudes have the ability to hit the ball out and like hit the ball out at a decent rate.
They're potent. I mean, that lineup is now, you are coming to the dish, a little bit more of a pitcher's park. But again, like you just said, they play in a big league ballpark themselves over in Athens.
Their ballpark's bigger, and this isn't the old dish that used to be the pitcher's park. So I mean, I look. Hey, I've already said this. I'm a fan of moving the fences back for one series.
All right. Well, I don't want to get. You don't have to lock one in if you don't want to, but do you have a prediction for the series, Gage?
Yeah, I think we're going to win 2 games. I really trust our pitching. I think that we have the pitching staff to go and neutralize Georgia's bats over the next 3 games. I think we're deep enough. I think we've got 3 solid weekend starting pitchers at this point. Yeah, they might not say it. I'm locking it in. Ruger Riojas is my Sunday starting pitcher. I don't know. Have they said anything yet on him being Sunday pitcher? I missed it, but Georgia hasn't played. I don't want to get into strength schedule, but they've only played one team that'll probably make the tournament, which was Auburn last weekend. So, I like Georgia. I don't think they're going to hit home runs, or I think they will hit home runs. I think the key for us is going to be limiting the amount of runs scored on those home runs. So not walking people, not getting ourselves in trouble. I think our guys do a
solo dingers. Yes, solo dingers lose you ball games.
Yeah, I think our guys will do a really good job of limiting that. I'm all in, man. I think our pitching staff is that good. I think we're just going to need a couple big hits, and I think our guys have proved that they can deliver that at home against another really good pitching staff in LSU. So I trust our guys to get it done. I trust our pitching staff to get it done.
I mean, those are big discrepancies that Nash, shared with us there. Like, you talk about you giving up some solo dingers, you give up 2 or 3 solo shots in a game. I mean, that doesn't necessarily kill you. You turn around and make each one of those a 2-run shot, and then it's starting to get a whole lot harder to win that ball game. So I
think we're third in the SEC in walks for our pitching staff. I can't remember exactly where we're at walks wise, but yes, I think we limit the walks. We've consistently gotten better at limiting those walks from our pitching staff, and I trust our guys to limit those to solo shots. I don't like, no disrespect to Georgia, they hit tons of home runs. They can hit home runs, but we can hit the ball hard too, and so I really trust our pitching staff to limit that, and I think that's going to be the key to this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know.
Give me an official prediction, Nash. We need an official prediction. Do it. You're on the wagon. The dish at the atmosphere will be the difference.
I was already going 2-1, but Gage might have talked me into 3-0.
We're back.
Not gonna lie. No, because here's the deal. If we win Friday, Saturday, I'm sorry. If we haven't pitched Ruger, y'all are done. It's done. Like, just go ahead and wrap it up in a bow. No, knock on wood. I'm sorry, baseball gods. I'm damaged now. After the next blue, something happened. Somebody stepped on the line. Somebody did something on game day. Okay,
they just owe us a couple. They owe us a couple.
Yeah. But I mean, you look at the home runs allowed. Like, Georgia's literally almost one of the worst teams in the country in allowing home runs. And then also ERA, they're 80th in the nation in ERA. Texas, this is, and I got to go back to what I've always said, and you've heard me say this a million times, Gord, I'm probably sure, like driving up to, go to Oklahoma or something like that. Good pitching beats good hitting.
Yep.
Yeah.
It does. And there's a reason why Paul Skeens is on the mound. Paul Skeens was a two-way player. And the only reason why Shohei Ohtani's not on the mound is because his arm kept getting hurt.
Right.
So when you have a pitcher, and look at the pitcher's contracts versus everybody else's contracts, right? Tell me where the money goes. Man, I keep going back to I have to go back to that good pitching always beats good hitting. And when you combine that with they don't have the level of pitching that we do, and we might have the level of hitting that they do, right? I got to go with the 3-0 Texas. And this is a tobacco-free campus, sir.
I don't know what you're talking about there. I have to say, that was a full 180 turnaround right there, bro. You were nervous.
I was going 2-1. I was going 2-1. I want there to be a lot of respect coming off from my,
of course,
my end, because I really do respect this Georgia team. I was a fan of their team last year, and I
have some stats right here. Georgia's starting pitching midweek, weekend plus midweek, so all their games combined, they have only thrown 64 innings to a tune of 8.72 ERA, and they have given up 62 earned runs, and they've walked 46 people. That's a 1.765. 6 whip, and then their bullpen a little bit better. They have pitched 187 innings, 3.75 ERA, still a 1.2 whip. So more close to our bullpen, similar to our bullpens. Their bullpen's been really good, but it would be interesting to see if they only throw 2-3 innings, starting pitching wise, how's that going to affect them for the rest of the weekend against an offense like ours, especially if we're obviously healthy outside of Max. We put a lot of stress on pitchers. We did it to LSU. LSU came in and they were like, we have the best bullpen in the country. And I'm not going to say they don't, because they got some flamethrowers. Like, they got some dudes back there. But we put stress on those dudes, man. Like, our offense did a very good job of putting stress on them. And so it'll be interesting to see them throw an entire weekend of bullpen guys at our offense. And it'll be really tough on Georgia. It's going to be really hard. It's just as hard as it's going to be on our pitching to limit their offense. It's going to be really, really hard on their pitching to limit our offense.
And when you talk about our approach at the plate, and we're seeing a lot of pitches right now, we're seeing more and more. I mean, that gets harder to pull off what they've been trying to do in that blueprint of getting your guys just a couple of innings and then going to bullpen, trying to play matchups, letting maybe one or two guys eat up a couple innings at a time at most. But I'm with you guys. I'm 2 out of 3. I think it's 1-1 Friday, Saturday. Don't ask me who wins which, but then I have Ruger Sunday being a real thing. From our perspective, Nash, that was 0-3, brother. Flip them hands around.
I'm sorry.
You're playing with the baseball gods to the maximum here on the show tonight, and
you're playing with the baseball gods, putting out the wrong prediction for me. But I want to say this: you probably are thrown for a loop right now, because me and Gage have completely just reversed our roles. And normally he's the one that's pretty conservative.
True.
And I'm the one having to talk him to over to the land of glass half full. But man, I like when Gage puts his head down and starts reading off receipts. Good stuff starts happening, man. Yeah,
I think Georgia's a good team. I need them, and they might have a prove it weekend. Like, this might be their prove it weekend to people like me. It's just like I need to see it against a really good baseball team. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see. Georgia's. I'm not saying Georgia's not even a College World Series team. This SEC stacked. You know what I'm saying? Like,
whoever loses this game, there's nothing negative to say about them.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, nothing. You can't say anything negative. Like, I mean, even if Texas goes 0-3, we lost to a really good Georgia team that, like you said, is probably going to be in Omaha.
Yeah, and it
if
might
Georgia
be we have
loses those
injuries,
they're going to
and
look at it the same way.
yeah, and we could look back and say, hey, we didn't have our starting third baseman, our starting catcher, and we played 3 close games.
And hopefully we get those guys back for 2 of the games or one of them.
That's the hope, man. We were going to need them at some point. It's going to be a lot of SEC series to go. With that being said, guys, I'm going to let us get out of here and enjoy your evenings or what little is left of it. But yeah, Gage 2-1 in favor of Texas in the series with Georgia this weekend. Nash talks Texas with a 3-0 sweep for the Horns. 2-1 as well. I think the atmosphere at Disch Field will be electric. Hopefully, gets in the heads of a little bit of Georgia pitching. Favors some pitching for the Horns there. I think location, I mean, it's going to be big for pitching. We're going to have to find location and just nail corners, pitch down. You do those things, it's a lot harder to get lift up on a baseball and carry it out of Disch Field. So we're feeling good. Thank you, gentlemen, for doing this with us. If you have not liked this video, please do that. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please do that. Again, thanks for being here. Lady Longhorns moving on to the Final Four facing South Carolina. Longhorns at home against Texas State tomorrow, and then the number 2 ranked Georgia Bulldogs for a 3-game set this weekend. Thank you, Nash. Thank you, Gage. Thank you for all that were here. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.